Welcome to episode.
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 Welcome to episode 401 of Fly Away. Over the past few years, we've been reminded time and again how much the world relies on travel. From supporting local economies to learning about new cultures, the experience that travel provides helps us to make our world smaller and bring us closer together. Here at Outlander Travel, we've been proud to be a small part of bringing that to you through our weekly podcast. If you'd like to see what we're all talking about, be sure to check us out on our YouTube channel by searching for Fly Away Podcast. My name is Donna, and this week I'm joined by fellow Outlander travel agents Sandy and George. Yay! We're a little small today, but you know what? We're mighty. This week, we're continuing the great cruise comeback with Norwegian's Breakaway. The first in its class, this ship set sail in 2013 and was based out of New York City, which was the inspiration for its hull art by Peter Max. Now she's sailing from Miami, and Sandy and her family got to take the cruise that they've been rescheduling since 2020. So yes, let's get started.
Yay. Yeah, we finally got to take this cruise.
I think there's a lot of people in that boat where, you know, their cruise credits are expiring this year and it's take it or lose it.
I will say we got a killer deal because of, you know, like whenever they would cancel, it'd be like, we're going to give you 10% off. And when we booked it, they had a special on airfare. So we booked Norwegian's Air and it turned out really good for us. We had a really good deal. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about the Breakaway itself. I mean, what makes it special?
So the Breakaway was the first one, and then the Getaway was the next one. And then they started with the Breakaway Plus with the Escape and the Encore, which are a little bit bigger and have a couple more things. But this is a fantastic class of ship. I love the size of it. It's about 4,000 passengers. The Epic is also very similar to this, but it's not considered the Breakaway class. So I know we did the episode when Stacy did the transatlantic on the Epic, but it's just a really good size. It's got some really great bars. I love their waterfront area, which is outside on deck 8, basically outdoor seating for some of the bars and restaurants that are on that deck. So if it's, you know, the sun is beaming down on one side, you can go to the other side of the ship and hang out at that bar. Yeah, it's just a great size ship. And
now, can you wear your bathing suit at those locations, or is it you still got to kind of get dressed up for dinner?
Well, no, I would wear like a cover up. I wouldn't be sitting out there in my bathing suit probably.
Okay.
You can do that on the pool deck. I mean, you can. I saw people.
Well, I didn't know how close it was to the pool deck. So.
Oh, no, it's not. The pool decks are up on like deck 15.
Okay, gotcha.
But people come down and they have lunch at like Oceans, which is in the middle, right above the atrium bar. So I saw people in there with their cover-ups, and that's deck 7, and then you can go up to deck 8 and you can go out to the bar.
Okay.
It's pretty relaxed. I mean, there's really not much fussy about Norwegian. It's pretty chill.
Gotcha. So tell us, since you mentioned bars, tell us about the bars. I mean, you said the atrium bar.
So yeah, my husband loved the atrium bar. There was this one bartender down there named Martha who I had to put in the survey, like call her out by name because he loved her so much. He's like, I'm going to go see Martha before dinner. You know, I'll be down there in the atrium watching the games. And I'm like, all right. Yeah. So one of the things Norwegian does is they include the drink package. And so that is a big perk if you're a drink package person, because you're already going to have it. It was cool for us because one of our oldest is 21. So when we started planning this cruise, he wasn't 21, but it was cool because then he could be the lead guest, and like we put both of our sons in their own cabin, and then our daughter was with us. So that was really cool. The twins are 19, and Norwegian will let you give them permission to drink beer and wine. You just have to go to the guest services and sign a permission form. So they were able to try some stuff too, and it was, you know, so that was really cool. It was a fun age to go. You know, like I always kind of felt bad that we didn't take them more when they were younger. This was only my kid's second cruise ever, if you can believe that. But it was cool. It was a really fun age to take them. So some of the really cool bars, there's Shaker's Martini Bar, which is really cool. And they have some entertainment in there, somebody on a piano, somebody singing. That's one of the ones that you can go outside. That bar, when you go outside, they do a sustainable cocktail of the day, which is really cool. They it changes every day, but they do things like the one day it was a coffee one, and they would take the coffee grinds from the cafe and they would infuse it with a liquor with the coffee grinds, and then they would make a drink out of it. It was really neat.
Interesting.
There was a pineapple one that they were using like all the pineapple from, all the different restaurants and stuff too. So I loved that they did that. And they also focus on sustainability where they don't have, single-use plastics. Their water comes in like a little carton. So little things like that, I just thought were really cool.
Yeah, I've seen that at a lot of places where they do either water in cans,
yeah,
or water in the like milk cartons.
Yeah. So then there's another bar called Maltings. It's a whiskey and beer bar, which I wouldn't say their beer selection was like over the top great, but they did have some microbrew kind of beers that Chris liked. But he was more about the martinis and the old fashions and things like that. So that Maltings has an outside, that was on the opposite side of the ship. So whichever one the sun was not on, that's where we were, because we didn't want to be like beaming down hot. And then the atrium bar I mentioned before, Chris really liked that. That is on deck 6, and it's near guest services, but it's also the area where they are going to do like the trivia, and they do like the talks about the different port adventures. They're always talking about what they're doing next or what other itineraries you can do. They talked a lot about the Prima, their new ship. So, that's kind of going on over there. And then they have Starbucks is there too. And then it kind of, besides that, everything's kind of normal. There's, like the adult only section up on the pool deck that has the bar up there, and there's pool bars and things like that. So
typical stuff for a cruise ship.
Yeah. Well, they do also have the ice bar. That was really cool. You only stay in there maybe 20 minutes. You get everybody gets a couple of drink tickets. You put on these like quilted capes with fur hoods, and
we call those parkas for you Southern people.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's more like a dress, but they have chairs made of ice in there. The glasses are carved ice that your drink is in and stuff. So it's really, it's a cool experience. Actually, the first time we did our connection was on the Getaway several years ago, and a bunch of us went and did it. And I feel like it was like $20 a person then, and it was only like $15 a person now. So for whatever reason, I don't know if maybe people weren't going in, I'm not really sure, but it's a cool little experience. It's not included with the drink package, but you get 2 drinks in there. So
maybe it's kind of, lost its luster. So they're not like attracting, everybody just has to do it.
I mean, it wasn't something I was going to do again, but I had a lot of fun doing it. They do have non-alcoholic drinks that, technically Owen and Ellie weren't supposed to be drinking in there, but they gave them drinks. So they had the drinks too. So, so it wasn't like any, it wasn't weird or anything, but, I always saw people there, but I don't really know if people went back and did it again. So maybe that's just like a one-time novelty thing.
Did you get to the Headliners Comedy Club?
No, I wanted to, but nobody with me wanted to go. And I was really kind of surprised at that. I know. I did kind of want to see them. But we also missed the piano bar, Howl at the Moon, like the dueling pianos. We didn't get to do that.
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah,
they have also, Norwegian always had a party night, the second to the last night, that they called their white party, and everybody was supposed to dress in white. And now they've changed it to kind of a glow party. So we missed it up on the pool deck. I think we had a late dinner that night, but it all moved after the party was over up there into this one lounge. And so that was the only time we actually went into that particular lounge, was going in there for the glow party. And then I'm sitting there like, I don't know any of this music. Like, what is this? It's terrible. It wasn't terrible. I was terrible. It was like, I don't even know what's going on. So we didn't stay very long for that.
And how is Norwegian currently doing their muster drill?
They're doing a video that you watch on your phone before you go, and then you have to go visit your muster station and get checked off. And there's no like demonstration or anything, because I've been like on Virgin, when you go to the muster station, you still have to watch them put on the life jacket and stuff. There was none of that. It was just like, okay, you're here, check. So
Sounds like Royal when I was in October. Same
Yep,
exact
yep.
thing.
yeah,
I think they're all going to that just because it makes life easier.
it's so much
Oh.
better than shutting down the entire ship, going and standing, like back to back with people. I mean, it makes a lot more sense to do it that way.
So what else did you do in the evening since you obviously didn't go to Howl at the Moon or didn't go to
So-
see the comedy show?
Their other entertainment is phenomenal. They do Broadway shows on their ships, and this one has a show called Six. And Six started in London. It was supposed to come to Broadway in 2020, so it didn't come on time. And it's kind of amazing to me that it's on the ship because it's like the next hot thing. It's just been nominated for 8 Tony Awards. So I was a little bit worried that we weren't going to get to see it, that maybe like for some reason the staff would be, I don't know. I just didn't want to get my hopes up, but it was on the ship and I was so excited. And so you have to reserve your shows. It doesn't cost any extra, but you have to reserve it and you have to show up, like maybe 30 minutes early, because after like 15 minutes before the show, they let the standby people come in. So if you want to get a good seat, you should show up like 30 minutes early. And I just marched us straight down to like the 3rd row. And we were like right in the center. It was
I bet you did.
amazing. Yeah. It was so good. It was so good. And so it was only on 2 nights. And then the second night, my daughter and I went back and saw it again because we loved it so much. So we did that. And then they had a dinner show called Velvet. It was like dinner theater. So you paid, it was like $30 and you got to eat. And then there was like this themed show. It was supposed to be like 70s. It's kind of got some acrobatic stuff going on. It, singing, dancing. It was kind of confusing at parts. Some guy busted out in all these feathers like a peacock, and we're like, wait, I don't understand. But it was really good, and we really liked that too. And then another cool thing we did was the Bamboozled. That's kind of their escape game. It's not in an escape room. It's like you're sitting at a table. It's actually in the same room that the dinner theater is in. And you sit at the table and you have like a puzzle box and you have to figure out the puzzles. And so, our whole family was there and we're sitting, at our little booth, and they send 2 more couples over. And it's, the first couple was 2 sisters, and then another was like these 2 women who are a couple. And they sit down and they're like, so how many escape rooms have you done? One of them had done 90 escape rooms and one of them had done like 70 escape rooms. Wow. And Fox is a big escape room person and he's only done like 11. So we won because we had those people. I mean, like they handed out, like they opened up the envelope and they handed out all the stuff, and me and Ellie are like trying to figure out the cipher where you like get like the letters that are all mixed up and you have to kind of figure that out. And by the time we figured that out, they had opened up like all 6 locks on the box. And I'm like, how did you even do that? It was crazy. And then you had to
you
run
guys
up
got
and,
very lucky.
Oh no, they knew what they were doing. They were
I know you got lucky that they sat
yeah.
them with you.
I know, because Fox would have been so frustrated if he had to count on us. Because I mean, he was holding his own with these girls, but like, I don't even know what it was crazy, but it was really fun because we won and we all won a deck of cards. So we got 5 decks of cards because there's a family of 5. Yeah, but so that was really fun. Yeah, that was a really cool thing. And yeah, I was glad that was on there. So just like, there's just a lot of opportunities to hang out with your family on the ship. Yeah.
So when you were not on the ship, where did you, what ports did you go to?
So this was a Western Caribbean itinerary. We did Costa Maya, Mexico. We did Cozumel. We did Roatan, which is off the coast of Honduras. And we did Harvest Key, which is their private island off the coast of Belize, which I've been really excited to do. So I was really happy that we got to try that. So
which one was your favorite?
My favorite was probably Costa Maya, actually. We did a beach club that was all inclusive. It was about $50 a person. It included our food and drinks for the day. We had beach umbrellas and chairs, and it was really just a nice, relaxing, chill day. We had a place to swim. They had kayaks that you could use. There was like other vendors nearby, So we did have people walking by, like trying to sell us stuff, but that was actually okay too, because Owen and Ellie wanted to buy stuff for their friends, and so they got to do some of that. And it was just like Costa Maya is I don't know, it's just got this like rural beach town feel to it. It's a cool area. So I really like that port.
Did you go
And
to
they,
Maya Chan?
what's that?
Was it Maya Chan Beach Club?
No, but it is
Okay.
called something else. You mean the beach club?
Yeah.
I need to look it up.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it. It was somebody referred it to me. Another travel agent told me they did it in January when we were there. So it was good. I would do it again. I would recommend it. In Cozumel, we did the Playa Mia beach resort, and we booked that through Norwegian. So it included our transportation there and back. It was kind of interesting because I had just been to Cozumel like a month before, and we were in a completely different port. And I kind of knew it was a big port, but I didn't realize there were several. But that was good. It wasn't very crowded at all. That one was also all inclusive, and included our drinks and our food and stuff. And that one was cool because there was a little bit of shopping there. It's a little more built up. It has pools and things like that. So that one was neat. My family loved Roatan the best. That was their favorite. We went and did the sloths and the monkeys. They got to hold them again. Well, again, I was there a month ago. So I knew they were going to like it though. They absolutely loved it. This picture of Owen, he's holding the sloth, and the sloth just turned its head all the way around and looked straight at the camera. And they always look like they're smiling. So they're so cute. And they're just chill. They just kind of let you hold them and sit there like a baby, They're really cute. And then you go into the thing with the monkeys, and the monkeys are just jumping all over you. And Ellie was really nervous because she thought it was gonna like take her nose ring out. So she was covering up her nose, and she had her hair up in a big bun, and it's like jumped over and started just pulling at her hair. It was really cute.
I do like shiny things.
Yeah. And then we ended that day snorkeling. So that was really cool. Yeah, that was a good one. I like that port too. That one's a cool area.
So you mentioned that you'd actually booked your flights through Norwegian. How did that go?
It went really well. They don't always. They had a special, and they do this often where like the second person gets free airfare. So out of the 5 of us, only 3 of us paid for airfare. And they booked us nonstop flights, although they were at 6 a.m. the day we arrived, and we arrived a day early. So we flew in the day before, and then our flight home was 6 p.m. So we had a whole day of like finding something to do whenever we got off the ship. So
they flew you in a day early?
We deviated on purpose.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you have the option to do that if you want to spend.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. Because I always tell people to fly in a day early. And I wanted to take the family around Miami a bit, although because we got up so early, they were a little bit hot and miserable and tired, and we didn't really venture far from the hotel. So, but the hotel was nice. We stayed at the Intercontinental. It was right on the bay. It's a really pretty area. It's downtown. There's a like marina right close to there that has a lot of shops and restaurants and stuff. So there's a lot to do if you stay downtown. I would prefer to stay at South Beach, but South Beach is a little bit more. So,
Yes,
especially
yes,
at this
it
time
is.
of year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I didn't actually talk about Harvest Key yet. And I do want to mention that because that is their kind of eco reserve private island. It's not the same as the private islands that the cruise lines have in the Bahamas, in that, usually if you do that, your food is going to be free on the island. Nothing was free on this island. So they did have a pool in the beach. Obviously that's free. But everything else, like we paid for food, you paid for drinks. So it's a little bit different in that respect. And if you want to do an excursion in Belize, you can only do it through the cruise line. So you can do stuff, but it's whatever Norwegian offers. And we ended up doing
you probably have to taxi you to the mainland.
You have to tender. Yeah. And that's why the other places won't book it, because they don't, like they would have to make sure you got back or whatever, so it's not public transportation like that. So but it was really beautiful, and they had a lot of cool shopping, a really good chocolate store there. There was a really cool Mayan jade store where we all bought necklaces. I got my necklace. But it has like your Mayan birthday symbol, and you can look up, they have these really huge old books, and you look up your birthday and it tells you what your thing is. And then you get the jade necklace, and you get a little piece of paper that tells you what your animal is. Mine's jaguar. And then, and
wow.
I know, right? It's like, oh, that's cool. I'll get that. And then we did an excursion. The twins did a kayaking excursion, and my friend Terry and I did something called a pedal board. It's like almost like a paddle board, except it's got pedals that you actually pedal. And we were supposed to go and see manatees. We saw like one manatee off in the distance, but to be honest, I was very nervous that I was going to flip over out of that thing, because I felt like I could not balance on that thing very well at all. So I was ready to, haul it back in pretty early from that. So.
Well, you mentioned that food wasn't included in Belize, but we haven't talked about the food on the ship.
Yeah, so they have, obviously they've got the complimentary dining. They have a big main dining room called the Manhattan Room, which is cool because there's a dance floor in the middle. That's actually where they do the Burn the Floor dancers now. The last time I was on one of their ships, Burn the Floor was in the theater. And I think it might have been in the theater one of the nights, but it was part of like the dinner show entertainment in the main dining room for several nights of the cruise. And then on these ships, they also have a restaurant called Taste and a restaurant called Savor. And on ours, only one of them was open. Only Taste was open. I'm not sure why Savor didn't open, but we weren't full capacity, so it wasn't really a big deal. But those they're right across from each other, and they usually have the same menu. And then Oceans is another complimentary place, and then obviously the buffet up on the top deck. So those were the complimentary ones. If you want room service, there's a couple things that you can get that don't charge, but in general, there's like a $10 service charge to get whatever you want from room service. And then we did the teppanyaki restaurant. We did Moderno Churrascaria, which is like the Brazilian steakhouse where they bring the meat out on big skewers.
Ooh, how was that?
And we did wasabi, which is the sushi. Oh, and there's also a noodle bar that's complimentary, but it's in the casino. So if you don't like smoke, you might not want to eat there because people smoke in the casino. But the food was good.
Well, anything else you want to add, Sandy?
No, I mean, I think, I was a little bit not as excited at first because this is an older ship, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And the entertainment really stood out. So I would definitely recommend. Just getting to see such a current show was such a treat. It's coming here to our theater in Durham, DPAC, next year. So Ellie's already asking me if we can go see it next year. So yeah, it was great. Really
awesome.
good.
Well, that's our show for this week. Thanks for hanging out with us. Please like our Facebook page, rate us, and be sure to tell your friends about us. You can find our previous episodes on the podcast page of outlandertravel.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. So on behalf of Sandy and George and myself, Donna, thank you for joining us this week. Gotta fly.